So guys, how the devil are you guys? I am Mateus and welcome back to my channel. Now before we get started with today's video, I just quickly want to apologise to everyone in the Seven Hells Legion community and my subscribers for having no content recently. I have been really ill recently with the flu, chest infection and a lung infection. I'm on a lot of steroids at the moment to try and shift it all, so if I do sound a bit different or a bit on the throat, I do apologise. Sorry, that wasn't pretty, was it? Oh. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts and honest opinions on the newest installment to the Call of Duty franchise, and of course I'm talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now I managed to get hold of the beta and play some of this beta. I played a fair bit of this beta, and off the bat I can say it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's definitely a step in the right direction, and it's nice to see that they've finally listened to the fans and made some changes to the game. And I had an absolute blast. Now there is a lot to talk about in this beta because there was a lot of content. It was quite a juicy beta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into sections and talk about it, and then at the end I'll show you guys some gameplay and I'll talk about my opinions, what I liked, what I didn't like, and my honest review on it as we go along. In the beta itself, we had 7 game modes, which I was well impressed with, so thank you very much, Treyarch, for that. That was very, very, very goddamn generous. So we had TDM, Kill Confirm, Search and Destroy, Domination, Hardpoint, Control, and Heist. Control and Heist are the 2 new game modes, so those are the 2 that I'm mainly going to be talking about. So Control, you had 3 different points in the map that your team had to capture. If your team managed to capture all 3 points, then your team wins. But there was a little twist to this. Each team has an amount of 20 respawn lives. After those 20 respawns have been done, that is it, game over. So you could either win by capturing all 3 of the points to win, or wiping out all of the entire team to win. And then at half point time, it would swap over and you would have to defend the 3 points or take out the whole of the enemy's team to win. And it is the best of 3 rounds to win, with 5 in total. So that was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. They were quite long, actually. They were quite long matches. It was a little bit like Domination, but you had to capture it to like 3 certain points. So you had like 3 checkpoints within the capture time limit. So if your team died, you would still have one, like half of that chunk of that bar still captured. So you wouldn't. So then the next time you go to that, you would fill it up to the next chunk, and so forth. You did have a time limit. I think it was about 10 minutes. So that game mode was very fun. The next up we had was Heist. Now Heist reminded me a lot like a Rainbow Six Siege game mode. Basically you had a cash sum lump in like the center of the map, or around the center of the map. The first team to go and grab the cash and take it back to their extraction point won, or the first team to take out the whole entire team won. Now there was a slight little new game mechanic to this mode which I found very fascinating, and I think it's definitely going to tie into the Blackout mode that is going to be coming, which for you guys that don't know, that is the Call of Duty Battle Royale mode, and they're calling it Blackout. So that's going to be pretty damn cool. The beta for that is actually coming out in September, guys. I don't know if it's going to be closed or if it's going to be public, but it will be coming in September. I will be making some content of that, you can be sure. But anyway, going back, sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Going back to the main mechanic, when your teammate went down in Heist mode, they wouldn't die automatically. They'll actually go down into a fallen state where a team member could actually revive and pick you back up, which was new, and I really liked that idea. That was pretty damn cool. Did have a lot of problems with this game mode. There was one particular time where I went into the game mode, it loaded up the map and it completely crashed. It crashed for a good 5 minutes and then crashed the whole of my PlayStation 4 Pro. I had to turn it off and completely hard reset my PlayStation, which was a major bug. Obviously, I did report it to them so they know about it. Hopefully they changed that. So next up we're going to be talking about is the maps. Now in the beta we had 6 maps. Again, thank you Treyarch, that is amazing. So we had Seaside, Contraband, Frequency, Payload, Gridlock, and Hacienda. Not quite sure if I pronounced the name of that one right. I don't think I did, but that one got added towards the end of the weekend. And that was a very fun map. But now, I really want to talk about these maps because they were so cool and they were so interesting to me. Each map was completely different. It had its own unique style, it had its own unique atmosphere. Some maps had even their own unique little like atmospheric thing going on. Like there were some snow maps and sometimes the wind would pick up little bits of snow and you'll have like gusts of snow just blow across the map and things like that. That was really cool. There was loads of levels within every single map. So you had like your ground, your mid, and then you had like a top tier, and then you even had like a rooftop tier on some maps. Every single map that I played as well, there was big open areas for massive gunfights. There was plenty of smaller corridors and smaller little like fight areas, little tunnels, and all of that. And another thing which I really did enjoy was that some of the maps even had their own interactive little things. Okay, so next up we have the specialists. Which we all know and loved from Black Ops 3. Oh no! All of them are there, apart from Sparrow, which I found really particularly odd because Sparrow was one of my favourite specialists within the whole entire game. And for some reason she wasn't in it. She may be on the full release, but in the beta she was not included. But there was 4 new ones included as well. And of course, like Black Ops 3, each specialist has their own ultimate ability and secondary ability, which was pretty damn cool. So the first of the specialists was Ajax. Ajax was pretty damn cool. He had a 9 flashbang, which I can show you a clip here of one of his specialists. And he also had a riot shield, which was really, really cool. You could aim and more protection from the riot shield, like fortified around the shield. You could put your gun into the little side, that was the socket, and actually shoot from the shield being fully up. That was a lot of fun. He was one of my favourite specialists to play as, to be honest. Next up we have Nomad, which was in Black Ops 3. Slight change to his character, looks a lot different. His specialist was a K9 unit, which you could call in the Hounds. And Nomad's second ability was he had trip mines, which is damn pretty cool. You could set up trip mines, and the length of the trip mines were actually quite long. You could set them from like a door to door or like a door to a corridor. The best place to set them though was like in between like sort of corridors. You had to place them quite sneaky because the other team could see it, shoot the mine, and then it won't be so effective. But it was pretty damn cool. Next up we have Clash. Clash was kind of like medic of the group. His ultimate, he basically jacked up the health of every single player on your team that was alive by 50%, so your total health would be 150. It did do a little bit, like it wasn't OP, it was enough for you to take like an extra 2 to 3 bullets more. Not a great deal, but it was effective, especially in a team fight, which is what this one is really pushing for more teamwork. And I'm really happy to say that I saw a lot more teamwork based in the beta. His second ability was to throw down an ammo pouch. So you could restock your team with some ammo, which is always handy. Everyone needs some ammo. And he also gave you extra bonus as well for the ammo that you used. From his pack, it gives the team a little bit more of a higher score, which is pretty damn cool. Next up we have a Firebreak. He was from Black Ops 3 as well. He's really cool. He's one of my favourite characters. I love the mask and the outfit and everything that he has. His ultimate ability was his flamethrower, which is absolutely awesome. It lasts for a decent amount of time, does a ton of damage, and it was really fun to play. You get some awesome plays with that. His second ability was this like tank of just radiation. You just slam it onto the ground and you just radiate an area around you. The more you hold R1, the bigger the area is and the stronger the radiation that you pump out is. But it does take a chunk of your health, so keep an eye on your health, don't go too ballistic with it, and remember to use the health stim afterwards to get your health back up. Yes, health stims, I did mention that. There is no auto rehealth over time anymore, auto gen rehealth or whatever you want to call it. Completely gone, completely ditched. So if you want to get your health back up, you need to use one of your tactical items, which is a health stem. There's other ones, we'll get to those in a second when class is. But you needed to like inject yourself with a health stem to get your health back up, which I really liked. Ooh. And that is probably because of their Blackout mode again. But I love the fact that they've interwoven different mechanics into the game from that. I love that. Anyway, next up we have a Ruin, which was from Black Ops 3. His ultimate is exactly the same, you know, the one, the ground slam, which is epic, especially on domination, hardpoint, things like that. You can absolutely decimate that area. And his second ability was the grapple hook, which made for epic plays. His movement was amazing. It's amazing as well to go from a grapple hook straight into a ground slam. Amazing, a lot of fun. Next up we have Battery, which was also from Black Ops 3. Her ult is exactly the same with the like a grenade launcher, rocket, more like a grenade launcher, where you fire one out and it splits that all to different things and just blows the shit out of everything. It lasted for a fair amount of time. Same sort of aim system as well for that. Her secondary was to throw out like a cluster bomb, I think she called it. And it pretty much done the same as the ult. So you just throw out this grenade and then it separates into like 4 smaller grenades and explodes around, which is good for area effect, which is another really good one for domination and hardpoint. Next up we had Recon. Now this was a brand new character. His ult was the night vision goggles, or like infrared goggles, sorry. You'd pull them down, you'd paint all of the targets on the screen red, you could see them through the walls, the rest of your teammate could see them as well. Although for me, I found it quite hard to actually gauge where they were, because you could see them through walls and you could see them from really far away. It was hard to judge if they were coming around the corner towards you or if they were behind the wall. I'm not sure if that was just for me. It probably was because I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to that character. Secondary ability was to fire a tracking dart. So you could fire this dart a fair distance, fired it off, and any enemies that walked past in that area would light up on your minimap up the top. So it's kind of like a tracking device, but only for that certain amount of area that it covered. Next up we have Seraph, who was also in Black Ops 3. Her ult is her revolver still. One shot kill, lethal, bam, it's like, and you go flying. Like, you are gone. You are absolute history. You are toast. In her secondary, it's been changed up slightly, and I do really like it. It's kind of like a trophy sort of system. You can pop it down anywhere, and it acts as a respawn point. So if any of your teammates die, you can pop it down, and they can respawn literally right back into the action, which is really nice. The next one we have is Prophet. He was also in Black Ops 3. His ult was still the electric gun, the electric stun gun, which was really cool. I liked the remodel of the gun. That's really cool. His skin also looks really sick. I love the dreads and everything. That is really cool. I think the electric though lasted a little bit too long for this character. I mean, I got hit by him a couple of times and I was literally rooted, stuck in place for like a good minute, which I think was a little bit too long. I mean, you could get out of it by pressing square right at the very start, but you had to press it like straight away. Like, you almost had to know that you was going to get hit by it before you could actually press the button. To secondary, he sent out like a little robot drone, but like a ground one, and that would go off and that would seek a mine, that's what it's called, and it would go off and it would seek people and it would electrocute people on the spot, and it would stun them in place for a little bit overkill, I think, amount of time again. And then last but not least, we have Torque. I think that's how you pronounce it. Torque. Not twerk, Torque. He reminded me of like a older kind of Metal Gear Solid Snake sort of character with the beard and the hair and just like the gruff look about him. But his abilities was really cool. So his special ability was called a Barricade, and you basically put down this massive shield up in front of you and up the sides. You could shoot out from the middle, and it would just radiate this kind of I don't even know what you would call it. You had it in Blackout 3, I think, where you could put it down and it radiated radiation, I guess, or something. And it basically done that as well to keep people back away from the shield. His secondary was razor wire. Now you could put this in doorways, you could use it in pretty much anywhere that you wanted to, and what would happen is people that would go through it would be slowed down tremendously, and also like make a noise, so it'd be triggered. So if you had a pair of headphones on, that'd be a really good sign to know where the enemy are about to come from. Now another thing to note as well, in the beta, only one specialist was allowed to be picked per team. So if someone picked Ajax in your team, not another person would be able to pick him as well. So it evened out the teams, which I really liked, which made for really a balanced gameplay. And the specialist I genuinely really enjoyed. So last but not least, we come to the classes. Now when you get to rank 5, you get to unlock your classes and you can mess around with things. Now this is where things start to get really interesting for me. So we'll go through the weapons quickly. We'll go through the primary first. So for your assault rifles, we have the SMGs, and new for this Call of Duty, we have the tactical rifles, which I absolutely loved. They are amazing. I always kind of used like a one-shot rifles anyway for like snipers, so I was very happy to see this and replace the shotguns. Believe it or not, shotguns are now secondary weapons only, and it's refreshing to know the incendiary ammo, as far as I know, is gone. Thank the Lord. And they're not OP. They are definitely not OP, but we'll get to those in just a second. Then we have the light machine guns, and last but not least, of course, we have our snipers. Then moving on to the secondary, we have our pistols, and our shotguns, which I was talking about just a second ago. And last but not least, a rocket launcher, which was actually really cool to use. Not too hard to use at all. There was no tracker device, you just aim, shot, boom, job done. Now, as I said, here's where things get interesting. So, as you can probably see from this loadout, your tacticals, so your flashbangs and things like that, are not standard, nor are your grenades standard. So, what happens here? Huh? For your tactical, by default it is your stem shot, so your healing shot, right? Which is what I always used. I didn't really change that out because I was a little bitch that got shot all the time. So I needed that health shot. Although it's not overpowered, you can still quite easily get absolute rinsed out of the map. So it's not OP whatsoever, so don't worry about that, guys. But you can change it out for some of these items. Okay, so then moving on to equipment. Now this is, like I said, where things get interesting. You can either have your specialist second ability, or you can swap out your specialist second ability for one of these items. And then, of course, we have our return of wildcards. Now, I'm not going to go too much into these because everyone sort of knows what these are. So the wildcards, you can choose one of these to take an extra perk from Group 1, Group 2 or 3, or an extra 2 perks or an extra even 3 perks from one category. Or you can use them to add another attachment to your gun. Or you can even use them to take 2 primary or 2 secondary weapons into your class. Now, the only thing I would say about this is that I didn't particularly like, I didn't think there was enough points to spend in a loadout in the beta. I think there was only like 10 items that you could have. I think they should push that up to 12. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys do agree with that, but 10 just felt a little bit short, especially if you wanted to use your wildcards, because just to use one wildcard used up 1 point before you even put the second perk or the second item that you wanted onto there. So a wildcard kind of takes up like 2 points just by itself anyway. So I think it was just a little bit short and needed some extra points in the loadout section. Now, I've just got some side notes of what I liked and what I didn't like about it. So, just to be straight, there is no wall running whatsoever, there is no double jumps, and there is no jetpack jumps. All of those have completely annihilated and gone. There's no perks for them, there's no specialists for them, or anything like that. It's completely been removed from the game, which I do kind of really like, although I did miss a little bit of wall running sometimes, but I guess you can always go back to Black Ops 3 to play that. But that being noted, you still have your slide, you know, the slide across the floor, which I absolutely loved and was really happy about that they didn't take that away. It comes to some great plays as well, especially with some of the specialists. You can just slide in and around corners and just whip out any gun and just blaze it. It's awesome. Also, another fantastic point, which I was just like, yes! Thank God. There is random respawn points. It really did work. Like, I'd hardly got spawn trapped ever. I mean, it happened, I think, twice within like the 20 to 30 games that I played. We still had, obviously, just the single jump, but the single jump was so much higher and so much more of a jump than what was in Call of Duty World War II. That jump was pathetic. It was hardly a jump, it was like a little whoop, and that was it. It was like, really? Are you jumping over a stick, or are you actually jumping? So the jump in this was a lot higher, and the things that you could actually climb and reach to pull yourself up or to mount over was actually kind of really cool and surprising. The gameplay itself I thought was amazing, it was fantastic, it was fun, it just needed a little bit of polish around the edges. And I think it's going to make for a fantastic game. I literally cannot wait until it launches, and I cannot wait for September's beta of it, which is going to be the Blackout mode. Can't wait for that, that's going to be awesome. But anyway, that is it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like, I greatly appreciate that. And also, I noticed that we've had some new subscribers since I have been away. So thank you very much, guys, for that. I appreciate the support, and welcome to the 7th House Legion. Sorry I didn't say it sooner. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I shall catch you guys very soon. Until then, stay awesome, take care, stay safe, capiche, bye!